is held in collaboration with Cemeso, Center for Media Center for Media and Society and Norway, and then International Press Center, which is funded by the key. So once again, we welcome you to this event.
And the public discussion during elections, help to manage political and electoral conflicts, and so on and so forth. So crucially, we can say that the media performs watchdog role during elections. And it is a recognition of this that the European Union, through Component 4, support to media of the European Union support to democratic governance in Nigeria, has been supporting the International Press Center and the Center for Media and Society to ensure impactful media contribution to the conduct of credible elections. Now, this is part of the EU's wider engagement that they believe will help to foster a pluralistic, participatory, and representative democracy in Nigeria. So if you look at the structure of the EU-SDGM project, it has like 5 components through which civil society organizations are supported to, in turn, support INEC, the National Assembly, the judiciary, the political parties, civil society, the media, women, youths, and persons with disability. And as you are going to see, what IPC and Cemeso have been doing for the past 2 years actually cuts across all these 5 component areas, one way or the other. But in our own specific regard, we're supposed to achieve 6 results that are believed will lead to the ability of the media to ethically, fairly, accurately, and inclusively report the elections. And these 6 result areas are the enhancement of the professionalism of media practitioners, especially women, the strengthening of media professional capacity to tackle electoral misinformation and disinformation, the enhancement of media platforms' ability to diversify, deepen the coverage of the electoral process and deliver civic and voter education. The 4th one is an improvement of media awareness and use of Freedom of Information Act for increased accountability. The 5th, the strengthening of the National Broadcasting Commission to perform its mandate. And last but not the least, the improvement of media engagement in promoting women, youths, and marginalized groups in politics.
Under Component 4 of the EU-SDGM 2 program, and through implementing partners like the International Press Center and the Center for Media and Society, we have made strides in empowering Nigeria's media ecosystem. From across the country, the interventions have resonated. And what we set out to do, what has been our focus and goals. The support provided us by the European Union was designed with a clear mission, not to simply improve reporting, but to strengthen the very fabric of our democracy. We focused on the following result areas. 1, enhancing the professionalism of media practitioners. 2, strengthening the capacity to tackle misinformation and disinformation. 3, expanding the ability of media platforms to deliver inclusive civic and voter education. 4, improvement of media awareness and use of FOI Act. 5, supporting the regulatory body, the National Broadcasting Commission, to be more protective of the industry and to do better on its mandate. 6, promoting inclusive media representation, specifically for women, for youth, and marginalized groups in political processes.
Constitution, that is Nigerian Constitution, guarantees the freedom of expression for the media, while the Freedom of Information Act of 2021 guarantees citizen right to public information. However, we have observed that the federal and state government control the media institution through ownership and regulations and regulation. As a consequence, the media do not always provide fair and ethical coverage of the electoral processes. For these reasons, the various EOM reports have highlighted the importance of support actions in addressing the loopholes in the media sector. This is to ensure that journalists are trained to provide conflict-sensitive, fair, and impartial electoral coverage, and are informed to identify and prevent hate speeches that are capable of encouraging violence. A key lesson learned from the previous electoral support programs and various consultations with stakeholders is that the legal and operational environment governing media broadcasts and access in Nigeria needs to be strengthened to ensure that the public and private service broadcast industry keeps to a professional mode of conduct. Complementary to this is the capacity of the media regulatory body, that is the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, to effectively discharge its mandatory function in terms of monitoring and imposition of sanction on media organizations when necessary.
Basically, we are all familiar with broadcast terrain, and I just want us to share our thoughts about what are those current issues that are affecting broadcasting today. Positively, negatively, maybe one or two issues that you think that, okay, we should be able to bring to the front burners that are affecting broadcasting today. Can somebody build the cat and let us know what do you think that in our industry, it's our industry, and some of us we have been discussing behind the scene, this is this, that is that. Can we bring it just forward in a nutshell to know what and what we are facing in the broadcast industry and how we can navigate out of the problem, if there is any?
The metrics that you need to track success is the fact that people, your work, your journalism creates impacts and changes people from place to place, and whatever we want to do, that the people should know that your work must be measurable, your stories must be measurable. You must have something, and people should remember you. If you have spent some years in journalism, you should know that one of the metrics, you see, the work that you have done, that people are following, and the reports you have written, or even views that are changing system, and that the both leaders and business leaders actually and follow. And when people see you, when people recognize your work and the quality of your work, and you discover that that is one of the things you will need to do a lot of things.
Voter education, civic education, all that. There are many stakeholders that are supposed to educate Nigerians about all those things, but the media has a very, very critical role, because we have the mandate, for instance, to inform, educate, create awareness, entertain, and all that. Therefore, there's no way the media can shelve that. It is the responsibility of the media. I'm not saying there are no other stakeholders, but the media cannot shelve it. We have an obligation to the public to give them the right information, to enlighten them and to educate them.
For me, it has been really insightful. My key takeaway is the fact that as media owners and as media managers, we need to collaborate. Like, it's important to collaborate, and when we collaborate, we get to work together, and it makes things really easy for us. Also, another takeaway for me is the fact that when we complain about, having guests not attending, women not showing up for our events, we've been able to now have ideas on, when we have women on our show, the kind of topics we should, we shouldn't deviate from the topics that we gave to them earlier, and, work with NGOs and even lecturers from universities. So for me, this has been the key takeaway for me.
The meeting has so far been quite revealing, and it has shown that it was necessary, because the newsroom leaders have also spoken about their own challenges. Some of them are not necessarily the publishers. They also talk about the environment in the country itself, the economy, the question of access to information. But we've been able to reach some agreement on the way forward. Their own role in ensuring that there is proper recruitment in the newsrooms and there's proper mentoring. Some of them have also agreed because we were having this dialogue with the print and online journalists. Some of them have also agreed that they may not be able to do all, but they can begin to have some specific focus. Particularly, some have said, well, we may decide to be now looking at the issues of women in the elections. Some says it will be about young people. Some says it will be about persons with a disability. They've also agreed that they will look at campaign promises that affect women and use the instrumentality of solution journalism to look into the implementation of those promises. So the conversation has been quite enriching, and I'm sure that by the time we put together all the reports, the action plans that are emanating from them will be clear, and we will try to follow up with them.